And welcome to Anmaree's Workshop. My name is Anne Marie and I love to make things with joy. If you like to make things with joy or just watch people make things with joy, you have found the right place. Please like, subscribe, and share. Now, welcome to my first ever cosplay video, which I think is the fancy way of saying I like to make costumes. I don't necessarily have anywhere to go in said costumes because there's not a lot of Halloween going on around here in Jamaica, but I love myself a costume. I think if I'd had my druthers and I knew that this was a career, this is what I would have done when I was choosing high schools. In middle school, I would have tried to get into the Fashion Institute of FIT in New York. It was on the board. I remember it. But I wasn't thinking that it was a career for me. Anyway, so this is my anatomy of a sew of my 2 Regency garments that went wicked. I'll explain. So I was dying to work on a Regency costume a la Lady Danbury in Bridgerton. I wanted the Spencer jacket and I wanted the Regency gown and I wanted to do them. So on a previous video, I did a living toile of the Spencer jacket and the Regency gown so that I could get the hang of it before I actually made these garments, because I did not have a ton of this fabric or a ton of this fabric. So I wanted to work out all the kinks on a toile before, so that resulted in some lovely garments. Not quite right. The Regency dress did not have enough bust cup room, and the jacket, I used the wrong backing, so I didn't get this soft feel. I got a crispy feel. I used the wrong stuffing. Anyway, so this is how it went. I hope you enjoy it. Stay till the end. Today's the day. Can you imagine? Let's go. Now the trick is going to be to get all these pattern pieces on this fabric. Now, even though I've done some creative cutting, it turns out I'm not going to be able to get the tulip sleeves out of this fabric. I wanted to use this because it was softer, but I have quite a little bit left of the sequin fabric. So that's fine because the bodice is made in that. And then I don't have a full length of the waistband. And so therefore, I'm gonna probably do that in sequin also on the jacket. That should be interesting, we'll see. Now, one of the joys of cutting out the Regency jacket this time is that living toile that I made fits perfectly. So I could just cut it out without worrying about adjustments. However, on the Regency dress, I decided to cut a more generous bust because the adjustments that they give you are on the sides. They don't allow for cup. And so I cut it a little wider, and that I will have to play around and adjust with. But the front of the skirt and the back of the skirt and the sleeves are pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can finagle the tulip sleeves and the waistband on the Spencer jacket out of this sequined material. Now, I was able to get the tulip sleeves but quite a little bit of it here is mesh. But it's okay because the tulip folds over. So I will just orient it so that I cover this side on both sides. So that's working out. Now the waistband, okay, my first casualty of war. My scissors, those sequins did a number. I'm trying, but I think it might be over. Okay, so you have to have fortitude because you've got to cut the fashion fabric, the flat lining fabric, and the lining on some of these pieces. So, and I haven't even attached the piping yet. So you gotta take your time, enjoy the process, enjoy dealing with the fabrics, or you'll go nuts. So as I said, what I learned with the living toile on the Regency dress was that I needed more bust room. So I included more bust room in this version, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach it at the shoulders and then start to put the bias tape in, and we'll see. Hi, we're back at it. All right, so last night while I was watching a really bad mystery show, I did some handwork where I covered all the seams of inside the bodice. I guess I can take this pin out. I hand stitched the lining in place, and I really love how the tulip sleeves came out. And I have not figured out how I'm going to do the hook and eye closure in the back yet, but I'm pretty pleased with the top. It fits me better. There's more bust allowance. So now I'm going to attach it to the skirt. Skirt's crazy, y'all. Okay, so the skirt is a combination of, it has more of this sheer and coupled with this green Oscar the Grouch hair that goes, it's going to be pleated and is in the back. There's a lot to take in, but you'll see. It is not lined with the black charmeuse because I have a underskirt that I purchased that I think will be perfect underneath. Hold on, let me show you. Okay, so this underskirt was on Temu, and I thought rather than that I would put it underneath underneath this garment. So it's going to be somewhat sheer in the front without the petticoat, but it also lightens the garment, because if I had lined the entire garment with the charmeuse, the garment would be heavy. So now I'm gonna attach the front to the front of the bodice, and then I'm going to pleat around the edge to fit, and then I'm going to come on and cover over the seam so that there's nothing scratchy. But I must admit, these sequins, they're not really sequins. I think, yeah, they're sequins, I guess, but they're so tiny. But here we go. Now, another thing I noticed in creating this gown is that at this age, at my age, I'm finding it easier and easier to be patient and not rush, because usually creating something new would fill me with excitement and anxiety. And so it's good for me to take breaks, to remember my vision, and don't sell out by, every once in a while the piping in these garments it's not as tight as I'd like it to be, or somehow I catch a piece of fabric in the seam of something I'm doing, and I want to gloss over it. And that doesn't work out, because even if no one else sees what you're doing, you've seen it. And once you've seen it, you're the most important person who has created this garment and knows. So you might as well take your time and figure it out and create it. So to share what I mean, yesterday I was having the hardest time with the tulip sleeve. Somehow the piping went awry, and there was not enough allowance on either side of the piping to fix it. And it was getting towards the end of the evening. I'd had a chance to sew a lot of the day because I had coverage in the house. And so I just had spent too much time with the project. So I had to stop and then come back later when I was calmer, and took the tulip sleeve apart at that part, sewed a new covering on the piping, reinserted it, and it was fine, and I was fine. But just to say that sometimes if you get frustrated with your make, oh sorry guys, I'm about to go to the pool. If you get frustrated with your make, then it's time to put it aside, because sewing is supposed to be, for me, supposed to be joyous and fun, and I don't do it for a living. So I had to redirect myself, especially on a project like this that I've been thinking about for so long and occupies so much of my headspace. I need to enjoy the experience and not turn it into something that is regrettable. Okay, I attached the skirt to the bodice, and then I enclosed the seam in some bias tape. Now for structure, I'm going to take a minute and sit down, and I'm going to stitch, hand stitch this tape that I've used to the inside bodice so that it doesn't flap down and show, because remember, this part is going to be sheer. Now, another thing that happened with this dress is that it came with these humongous pockets that I totally approve of. Have you ever? These are the pockets. I believe my cell phone can fit in here. Unfortunately, because of the design choice I made to make the front panel sheer, I could not use them because they would show themselves beneath the sheer overlay in the front where they're attached, because they're attached at the side, they would show. And even if I made them in black or green, they would show. So I've had to give up the idea of pockets, which I absolutely love pockets. So, you know, sometimes you have to give something up in order to have other things. Now, here's where lazy kicks in. I'm going to do some handwork. I know I need my wax to wax my thread so that I don't end up cursing and carrying on. I don't want to go downstairs and get it. All right. I'm going to go get it because there's no need for any cursing and carrying on. All right, I sucked it up and went and got the wax. Now, here's the thing. I know I have more than one of these, but it's been a little while since quilting, hand quilting time, so Don't quite know where it is. Anyway, some reflections while I am stitching this waistband in place. One of the things that's become very apparent to me is while this gown, this Regency dress and Spencer jacket that I'm working on is inspired by Bridgerton, what's become abundantly clear because of my fabric choice is that this is a wicked outfit. Now, to say that I did not plan on a wicked outfit is an understatement, because I had I love the musical, but I'm not a big time follower of Wicked, and I wasn't really, the color palette didn't come along because I had any ingenious plans. A lot of times when I'm inspired by something, it's very much a serendipitous event. The sequin fabric was a year ago, almost a year ago. No, it was, I think I got it when I was having my sewing retreat in Montego Bay, which would be February. And I saw it there and thought it was gorgeous. I didn't have any plans for it. Now, the furry African fabric that I bought from Temu, I'd have to look that up, but I think that's over a year old. I was just intrigued by this fabric. I don't know what how it's traditionally sewn. I mean, the green hair, I don't know how that comes out in fashionable society for something that you would use in a dress. I'm not sure exactly how it came out. I was just intrigued by the fabric, wanted to see it up close. It was an affordable price, and that's how I ended up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just tucking it in place so that it doesn't flop down when I'm wearing it. Yeah, so it started off where it was, I just wanted to make an over-the-top Bridgerton gown. So you saw my evolution from doing the Regency with the overlay, which I absolutely love, the copper of it. And I think I have a tuxedo jacket that I made for my son's wedding that I never got to wear, but I think it's copper also, so it might be something that can go together as a costume look. I think the Regency dress is pretty enough to wear to an event. I have ordered a few accessories to go along with it. Inexpensive accessories, Temu. I got a tiara. I didn't get any long gloves. I might have to make the gloves because the color is a little tricky. Anyway, so it turns out I might have a Wicked costume here. And because of the green. Well, I wasn't thinking about it. And like I said, wasn't planned. Just wanted to make the Regency. So I'm going to stitch the rest of this band in place, and then I guess we'll start working on the Regency jacket some more. Okay, I'm back from the pool, and let me show you where we are at the moment. We are almost done with the dress. I have to figure out what's going to go on with the trail. Oh, whoa. Feeling it. All right, so to arms. We have no sleeves on our jacket. Okay, so here are some of the inner workings of this jacket. We're only halfway there, I believe. There are collars, sleeves, peplum, and waistband. While I'm attaching this collar, I always stitch my collars from the center of the collar towards the edge. I don't know, maybe it's just my technique, but if I don't do that, I always end up with a little bit of collar trying to make its way a little bit over onto the off of the edge of the garment. And I don't know if it's because my machine doesn't have differential feed or what it is, but it never works out even. So I always go to the very center and stitch out towards the ends. It's just a little tip. So here we are on day 3. And have you ever made something that is so far beyond what you thought you could make that every time you pass it, you go, whoa. Well, this is the case with this outfit, this costume. Hold on, let me see if I can turn it the other way. So there are a few things left to do. Usually with an outfit like this, you're going to find a bunch of things to work on. But currently, I am just adding the sleeve caps. I'm a little bit a ways from completely finishing it. The sleeve caps of the lining have yet to be tacked in place, and that's because I'm hemming and hawing about shoulder pads. I mean, it's so much. I don't know if I want to add shoulder pads to it. It's such a different thing. As you can see on the back, the lines for the shoulder, the lines on the back come behind the shoulders to support this high collar. So I'm not sure. And another problem I've come with this time is that making the fabric, because this is black denim with a sheer overlay, has turned it into brocade. So I'm right back with that same problem of the peplum kicking out, and I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to solve that problem. But, you know, that's what it is. But so far, this jacket has been fun. So I'm going to attach the sleeve caps, which gets me that sleeve I wanted. And there'll be a tassel that hangs from here. Don't know if I'm going to do the tassels in the front. We shall see. You know, in for a penny, in for a pound. But let me go ahead and add these sleeve heads. We'll talk some more. Okay, so I think I'm on the last couple of stitches for the Spencer jacket. And somehow I've gone from Lady Danbury to Elphaba. I didn't quite think about what the color combination, because it was a serendipitous buy of all of the items all of the fabrics that made up this outfit. Now, I'm delighted with it. But like I said, it's looking more like Elphaba from Wicked goes to a ball rather than Lady Bridgerton. But I think I can go either way. If I'm carrying a broom, I can be Elphaba. All I need is a pointed witch's hat. And if I get a snazzy Regency era hat like Miss Lady Danbury has, then I guess it could be Lady Danbury. But I'm at the very end of the handwork, which has been kind of fun. You know, it's not something you do every day. Even with even though I sew quite a great deal, I don't usually do this much handwork. So it has been interesting. It has been nice to do that. So I'll show you the final Spencer when we get back. Right, so it's time. Now, it is not completely finished. My tassels are not here yet, but I'm not even sure if they're going to match the groove. But I stitched in a row of catches to be the way to close it in the front. This is my serendipitous addition. The Spencer was one solid piece, but like I said, the mistake I made was I cut out the side and not the whole piece number one. So I had enough material for the side. I had to make an additional piece. This is a copy of the facing. See, it should be this solid piece, but I kind of like this. This is the same sequin material that I dug out of my bin that was on the bodice of the Regency dress. Once again, let's see. I've done the sleeve head. I'm just waiting for my tassels to come in the mail to add right here. Let's see. And I'm still not exactly crazy about the peplum. I don't care for it, but we'll see. But all in all, I think she's a beauty. I've enjoyed her. I love the stand-up collar. It has that stiffener in there stitched under here to keep the collar up. And so what's very interesting, I think I mentioned on the last one of these I made, is that on the back, that the shoulder seams are not along the shoulder. The shoulder seams are in the back. I guess they support this high collar. So it's kind of on your back. All right. I really love it. It makes me feel like this material was actually made this way, but no, it's a black stretch denim, and it is the sheer. I'll show you. Let's see. Let me dig around in my scrap ball here. Okay. So this is the material. This is the sheer. Part of it is this, and then part is, oh, let me go get it for you. And part of it is this. Don't ask me, I don't know why this material appealed to me. The way the material came is the hairy part is on the sides. I think it's about maybe 60 inches wide. No, hold on. Let's see how wide it is. 1 yard, 2, oh, it's 60 inches wide. All right, and then this beautiful jacquard is in the middle. All right, so in order to get the effect, I had this black stretch denim, and so when I was flatlining, it was stitching the, hold on, I have it on the wrong side. I flatlined the sheer onto the black stretch denim, and it ended up giving me a very brocadey kind of mix. I guess it would have a different hand if it was silk or silk, but I love it. It feels substantial. It feels like a proper costume. I use the satin lining for the inside, and You know I'll model it for you when I get a chance to get it all together. Now, let me show you the dress. So this is how the dress came out. This is the front, the bodice, and the very front, which is a sheer, has the sequins on it. And on the back is the thread. So, yeah, I know it's a lot. Okay, to say I'm delighted with her is an understatement. This make was just pure fun. Pure fun. This thread, furry looking stuff is out of control. All right, so let me put the jacket with it. We'll see. Oh yeah. Okay, I am so tickled by it. I can't wait to put the tassels on it. Yeah, there's a few things that are not exactly right, but only I will see it. So that's the front. Let me turn it around. And this is the back. And don't I wish I had a party to go to? So this was so much fun to make. I do not regret making the toile because the things I learned on the toile made this a delight. So just a reminder, this was the toile. This was the Spencer I made in this brocade, and what I learned was that the stiffening that I put in it was wrong. I needed the horsehair. It was wrong. It's very pretty, but it doesn't feel how this feels. This feels like a proper jacket. And then this was my first attempt at the Regency dress. It's not completed because I sent my blue beads to my daughter's house in Houston. So whenever she mails those to me, then I guess I'll finish this dress. So I don't regret making them. They're beautiful costumes. They're beautiful costumes, and I learned so much. Because even though I think this is very pretty, the way this feels, it feels like a proper costume. Okay, so from start to finish, that is how I went from Lady Danbury to Elphaba in Wicked. Like I said, proper hat, I can be Lady Danbury. Proper broom and hat, I can be Elphaba. Thank you all for coming along on this ride for me. This was a delightful project for me. I've always wanted to do costume work. If I could go back and change my life and still have the same children and still have the same friends, I would have tried to get into Fashion Institute in New York when I was a teenager. That was an option on the board when we were trying to get into high schools or middle school. But and then I didn't know that was possible. So I'm going to do, because I finished early, I'm going to do one more costume and then that's it. It's time to sew, romp, jump, and make some jumpsuits. But thank you for coming along for the ride. I hope you liked it. I hope you see me doing it encourages you that you can sew whatever you would like. Alrighty, we will see you soon. Take care.